We're like,
Hi, everybody. I hope both Ravi and I are visible and audible. While neither of us took slot 2, we did take slot 1, and we've just spoken to GP and Jijo regarding slot 2. Uh, Before we kickstart and start talking about हमें क्या लग रहा है या हमने क्या सुना है जो GP और Jijo को लग रहा है and get deeper into it, it'll be good if you all put your attempts. कि section wise समझो, go ahead and put it like this. 10, 12, 15, मतलब 10 in VARC, 12 in DILR, 15 in quant, for example. 10, 12, 15 ऐसे डाल दो so that we can understand average attempts, how are they going, and also if you can put in your estimated level of difficulty. DDD, which is difficult, difficult, EE, easy, easy, MMM, moderate.
so Mayank Gupta is saying that Mayank Gupta is already saying that क्या LRDI था, मजा ही आ गया.
यही तो अच्छी बात है.
Yeah, so I think majority of the comments are saying DILR was doable. DILR में ranking 1 was good. People are talking a lot about DI. A lot of unexpected things happened in DI, even in slot 1 today and slot 2 today. I think DI turned out easier. It was similar to Kohli reverse sweeping Nathan Lyon today. A very, very unexpected.
The slot 2 people did not watch that. Slot 1 people were lucky enough to watch that. But Ravi, interesting thing is, and this is something that Siddharth also mentioned in the group, and I'm seeing students point here. 2 questions in quant, I think copy paste हुआ है last year के paper से. 2023 से उठाया गया है. 2 questions in quant, with their figures also the same. Karan OP, without values change, exactly repeated questions. This is something that even Siddharth was mentioning. Prabjot is also saying, sir, in QA previous year questions were there. So this seems like a couple of questions जो directly वहां से उठा के आए हैं. So that should help. Obviously, that should be good for slot 2 people. Ravi, is there any disturbance at my end? कि all okay? मेरा net मेरे को थोड़ा
थोड़ा सा
unstable
lag आ रहा है जीवी. थोड़ा सा हल्का सा lag आ रहा है from your end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. So you pick up, I'll probably log off and log in again.
Yeah, so basically, I think a lot of people are going ahead and stating this to us that most of the sets in DILR were on the doable range. I mean, there was probably not a set in the paper which, if you picked up, would end up being a wrong set like you normally do in the mocks. मतलब वो judgment wrong वाला हिसाब बहुत कम इसमें होगा. But we would still want to know your opinion, guys. You people have gone ahead and taken the CAT in the slot 2. While we have collated the data from our mentors, GP, Jijo, and GP sir, Jijo sir, and Siddharth sir has taken the slot 2, and they have given their inputs to us. But before that, as GP sir has already mentioned, why just go ahead and put your attempts section wise, 11 oblique 12 oblique 13. How did you feel the paper was? Each of the sections, easy, medium, difficult. In that sense, we would like to hear from all of you also, so that we will be able to give a much better analysis after understanding how you people felt. I think
Also, please keep in mind, this is just the first impression. Just our first impression. तो हो सकता है इस पे थोड़ा update भी हो when we come in for the full-fledged detailed analysis at 4. But I see a lot of students who are stating, sir, मैं slot 3 के लिए अभी जा रहा हूँ. कोई एक दो चीजें तो बता दो जो दिमाग में रखनी है. So 2-3 things to note. 1, DILR, there are 22 questions, 2 sets of 5 questions, 3 sets of 4. Sorted. 2, there is no parajumble in verbal. There is odd one out but no parajumble. थर्ड, सम ऑफ यू आर सेइंग सर आप मेरे को बता दो ऑड वन आउट में आपका ऑप्शन कौन सा था, मैं वही मार्क करके आऊंगा. भाई ऑड वन आउट में नेगेटिव मार्किंग भी चलो नहीं है, बट फिर भी ऑड वन आउट में प्लीज पढ़ लेना. ऐसा नहीं जो हम बोलेंगे वो कर देना, हमारे ही दोनों अलग थे. सो प्लीज डोंट डू ऑल दैट.
Yeah, I think GB, what is interesting to look at the chat that is coming in, the inputs that are coming in, as compared to the first slot, if you look at it, the number of attempts in the quant section in our slot, in slot 1, I think during the detailed analysis, we got to know a lot of students have attempted more than 12 questions in that paper. In this
12 to 15.
In this chat over here, most of them have attempted less than 12 questions. I mean, that say that tells me that it is probably significantly tougher, the quant section, as compared to the first slot this year, more or less like
so I think
2020.
going back to what GP was stating, going back to what GP was stating, now guys, just to understand slot 2, first impression, this is what GP Jiju was also stating. Quant slightly easier than last year, but just that's it, just slightly easier, which means last year agar 99 was about 24-25, this year 3 to 4 marks higher lag raha hai, which means slot 2 से 2 questions का फर्क दिख रहा है. Sorry, slot 1 से. Slot 1 में we are turning around saying 33-35, यहाँ पे clear 5 to 6 marks का फर्क दिख रहा है. Slot 1 say. So normalization will work in your favor here. In DILR, however, I am seeing a lot of students with 12 plus, a lot with 12 plus, 12,
Correct.
15, 12, 14. That is similar to slot 1 or maybe slightly higher. So I will not be surprised if there is a half a question or one question का difference between slot 1 and slot 2 in DILR. मतलब अगर क्वांट में 5 मार्क्स का डिफरेंस होगा जो प्लस यहाँ पे एडवांटेज होगा बिकॉज 5 मार्क्स लेसर कट ऑफ होगा, वही DILR में 1-2 मार्क्स मेकअप हो जाएंगे मे बी वो डिफरेंस.
I think one could have we could have about 70 marks in DILR and QA taken together in slot 1 would have managed roughly about 65 68ish in this paper.
65 67, yeah, correct, agreed. Verbal interesting lag raha hai. Verbal, I would like to get a few more people to type in how many they've attempted. What I'm seeing is 23, 12, 11, 17, 15, 20, 12, 11, 12, 11 again, 16, 17. Similar type ही लग रहा है, average of 15-16 questions. जो हम slot 1 में भी देख रहे थे, I am not seeing a lot of difference. GP and Gijo's take here was, this looks similar to last year. Maybe a question easier is what their take was in terms of verbal. So net Ravi, what I feel like is, if verbal turns out to be say half a question or a question easier, that's about 2 marks, say, and DLR turns out to be similar, 4 marks वहाँ, and quant में 5-6 marks makeup हो जाएगा, it might actually balance out, or might be a difference of 2 marks. So in slot 1 जो हम बोल रहे थे probably 95 के आसपास रहेगा, 99 percentile, 94 to 96, maybe in slot 2 it's 2 to 3 marks lesser is what it feels at this point in time. But we also need to realize slot 1 will get some normalization advantage because of surprise factor. Slot 2 did not have a surprise factor, so they might actually end up balancing out. That's what it seems like as first impression. Anything that you would want to add to that, Ravi, in terms of first impression?
I think, see, when it comes to scaling, when it comes to section wise comparison, right, when we compare the overall scores, I think overall raw scores, क्योंकि difficulty in verbal थोड़ा सा easy and the quant थोड़ा सा tougher than the first slot, overall raw scores will remain the same. With two people with the overall raw scores, overall equal raw scores, I think the people in the second slot will end up getting more marks in the normalization, because the low scoring sections of DILR and quant, lower scoring sections, were comparatively tougher in slot 2 is what we are getting to know. Though DILR more or less remained the same as slot 1, I think quant was definitely, as per the responses here, was comparatively tougher. But we will be able to give a much better detailed analysis in some time to you after we get data of your responses in terms of how many have you attempted, how many have you attempted till say in the paper.
खाली एक I will add, if you want us to solve questions of slot 2 in the detailed analysis, go ahead, like this video. If we see enough number of likes, हमें पता है काफी लोग आएंगे slot 2 की detailed analysis के लिए, we will also go ahead and solve them. We are carrying a few of the questions of quant and DILR. Hopefully we'll be able to go ahead and solve some of that. If there is anybody here from slot 1, you might be aware we solved all 22 of slot 1. एक दो जो हम लोग ने किए ही नहीं, but बाकी सारे जो हमने किए, we solved all 22 questions there. So if you want the same thing, go ahead, like this and ensure that you're a part of the detailed analysis that happens at 4. Final take between Ravi and me, basis what we've spoken to GP, Jijo, Siddharth and a few others, and basis what you all are going ahead and talking about here. This paper was easier than CAT 2023 for sure. It seems along the lines of CAT 2021. Verbal seems somewhere between 23 and 21, matlab between 40 and 45, 99 lag raha hai. DILR guaranteed easier than last year. It seems, it might be closer to a 33, 35 for a 99. And quant easier than last year, but probably not as easy as slot 1. Basis what you all are stating, it seems it might be 3 to 4 marks more than last year, which means about a 28, 29 at a 99, whereas slot 1 seems to be higher. That is what it seems like at this point in time. Going ahead, we'll know more when we get into a detailed analysis.
I think when it
Sagar
comes to
is saying
the
2013-10 paper was good.
yeah 2013
Yeah,
10
Ravi.
seems to be a very good attempt if your accuracy is good, Sagar. If according to the responses that we are getting so far and what we have heard from GP and Jijo also, so if you have attempted 2013 10 even at an 80% accuracy, I think you will end up in a safe place is what it seems to be at this point.
Correct. So our first impressions are that, once again, to round it off, verbal between 40 to 45 for a 99, DILR roughly around 33 to 35 for a 99, quant seems like a 27 to 29 for a 99, overall seems like a 93 to 94, or maybe a 90 to 92 for a 99. At this point in time, we'll probably get deeper into this when we get for a detailed analysis at 4. At that time, we'll be joined by GP and Jijo, who've written this paper themselves as well. So we'll probably be able to get deeper. Those looking for a 60 percentile in quant or a 70 percentile or an 80 percentile, that actually might not be very different from last year. Lower end पे ज़्यादा change नहीं होगा is highly probable, which means an 80 percentile शायद 10 mark ना हो पर 12 पे शायद आ जाएगा, 12 से 13 पे. So if you've done
if
about
we,
4-3 questions correct, you should surely get roughly an 80 percentile.
if we can see a considerable change in the sectional cutoffs, I think it will happen only for DILR among all the three sections. I mean, the considerable change. Okay, 1 or 2 marks here and there, it can happen for quant and VRC, but at a sectional cutoff level, at a 75th, 80th percentile level, I think in DILR, you may see a considerable change of 3 to 4 marks, even 5 marks, according to the difficulty of the paper.
So Nilesh has come in, he's saying 16, 16, 15. Mayank is saying, sir, 7, 8 easy questions the QA mein. Prabjot is asking, sir, when will we expect the results? You can expect your response sheet in anywhere between 3 to 7 days. Last year 3, usse pehle 7 days maybe आया हुआ है, so somewhere in that range. But our score calculator is live. So go to www.careerlauncher.com/cat. The more of you all who will fill in that data, the more accurate we'll be able to predict, and hopefully by the end of today, we'll be able to give you a better idea of cutoffs kya ho sakte hain. So I will once again recommend www.careerlauncher.com/cat. Go ahead, fill that in so that we understand. A lot of you all are coming in and sharing your details. That is helping us. You fill it there, we'll be able to statistically analyze it, come up with a better analysis when we meet up at 4. But that's it in terms of our first impressions. Slot 1 to slot 2 ever so marginally tougher lag raha at this point in time because of quant, maybe a couple of marks, but otherwise they seem to be very, very similar. Please go ahead and use the calculator and we'll catch you again soon. That's it. See you at 4. 4 is when a detailed analysis is, I think, right?
Yeah. See you
Yep.
guys
See you
at
at 4
4 o'clock.
Bye-bye.
Bye.